start with you, because Rand Paul is right here, and these are the kind of questions we should be asking of a potential attorney general. I think we were all bit in the keister by Jefferson Beauregard Sessions, who did not serve the interests of the country and the Constitution the way he promised during Senate confirmation hearings. So what should senators do differently this time to properly vet someone who hasn't held the post for quite a few years?
Well, I mean, again, Jeff Sessions was a senator, so we didn't know what he would do as Attorney General. All we had to go by was his policy preferences. We've seen what Barr has done, but it's been a long time, and the world has changed significantly in that time. I think Rand Paul's concerns are totally valid. What I would love to see is him, for once, put some teeth behind it and perhaps galvanize some people on his side of the aisle to also cast a skeptical glance at the Attorney General nominee.
Yes, and what I don't appreciate from Republicans is this sort of blanket, well, he's done the job, he's a great guy, George H.W. Bush appointed him, therefore we should appoint him again. I don't care who it is. I would much rather see a real intellectual discourse with someone versus the tarring and feathering that we saw with someone like Brett Kavanaugh. And I think it's fair in an era where we've already been to the Persian Gulf, we're still in Afghanistan, we're still kind of in Iraq and Yemen, not to mention the domestic civil liberties issues. Why can't we put his feet to the fire on some of those big questions?
And I think that's what the Senate process is for. But let's not forget, too, that Senator Paul also voiced concerns about Justice Kavanaugh when he was first nominated and threatened for a little while to just hold his fire on his vote. He sat down and met with then Judge Kavanaugh, who alleviated those concerns, and Rand Paul ultimately voted to confirm him. So I'm very confident as this process plays out and the Attorney General nominee will work his way through the Senate, meeting with the key senators and Judiciary Committee members, that he can address those concerns and we can move forward with that nomination.
Is this the best pick? I mean, it's better than Chris Christie, right?
I mean, I completely agree with you that this is an opportunity for Senate Republicans to really show up and look like the adults in the room and have this intellectual discourse. We have, by comparison, we have the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, which were a complete and utter disaster. We had the we have the Democrats who are just going to come to these hearings and scream about Mueller and the Russians.
Yes.
So if the Republicans come and they show up and they have this intellectual discourse about individual liberties, and it's not a debate that's misplaced, because we've seen even with the Supreme Court in the Timbs case that they are reviewing this, that this is with civil asset forfeiture.
Yes,
this is
and that's one of the areas where Barr has a questionable track record. All right, well, let's switch gears a little bit.